Peace, peace. Welcome to Rerootd Radio. We are here. Rerootd Radio is a wellness podcast. Let me take a step back. Rerootd Radio is a community of creatives who are committed to their wellness and their ancestral roots. Today, we'll continue conversation. As this season, we've been interviewing different artists and creatives who are embodying and living at the intersection of their creativity and their wellness. So I'm grateful for a new guest that we have today, and we'll introduce them in a few moments. If you are new, welcome, and I hope that this conversation serves you and wherever you're at in your path. And if you're returning, thank you for staying rooted. Yeah, I'm really feeling attuned to my gratitude this morning, just in the spirit of the conversations we've been having with Rerootd. If you tuned into the last episode, Rashad, opened up a lot of new pathways and direction of where this conversation is going as a collective, and connecting more with ancestry, connecting more with just our collective why, as why we even create. Just really feeling nourished by these conversations and knowing that this is rippling out into people that are listening to them and receiving them. So today I'm grateful just to be in a space in flow in my creativity and how that's connecting with my community. So the guest that we have today is actually someone that I met a while ago, almost 2 years now, if I'm not mistaken, just kind of wild. But I met them a while back at Walk Good, and just in community, just, doing yoga, and run into them a few times since then, and didn't realize that this is someone that had a lot in common with until I started to see the work that they were putting out into the world, and to learn more about just who they were and the beautiful work that they have done. And I got to attend one of their workshops, and I'm intentionally being vague so that they could share more details. They are an amazing artist, multidisciplinary artist, and someone that really just embodies bringing light into every space that they come into. I'm grateful that I got to experience them in real time. So the things that I know, and they'll share more if I miss any, but I know they're a filmmaker, a music artist, a visual artist, a beautiful visual artist, and many, many more. They have also traveled the world and created a film through their travels and connecting the diaspora in a very creative way. So without further ado, I want to welcome Moreau Halliburton. So if he's welcome, if you just share, just how you're landing today and any of your hats that I may have missed.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a beautiful introduction. I'm honored. Yes, it's Halliburton. And I'm really honored and just feeling so much great gratitude. I'm very, very grateful to be here in this space with you, to share some time with you, and kind of commune over what it means to be communal. And I love film and music, sharing my voice through poetry and song. I recently got into looping, and that has been the biggest heart opener for me musically right now, in actually sharing my own music, because I predominantly play drums and percussion. And it's funny, I actually, just from what you were saying initially, like how we met, and that now it seems like we're understanding that we have a lot of commonalities, I'm realizing that that is because I've been pretty blocked as an artist for the past couple years. And just the past maybe 6 months, I've really opened up and kind of refound my fire through my own creation and really just putting it out there to see who resonates. So I'm really grateful that you're, able to see that in me and that we're able to hop on together and chat about creating. So thank you.
Wow. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing when you start to put your light out into the world and you never know, who will see it or who needed to see it. One of my mentors says, like this analogy of putting a flag up. It's like, you keep putting your flag up a little higher and, you're going to attract the right people. So yeah, thank you for putting your flag up. And if you want to share where you're calling from, just like the city that you're in so people know, and also just like a vocab check if people don't know what looping is, if you could explain what that is.
I can explain the looper. Yes, I'm calling in from Los Angeles, California, born and raised, Leimert Park. I'm in mid-city right now. Yes, it is very rare. And I've been realizing this. I went to college in Wisconsin, which was like a very different experience from LA weather and community and putting myself in spaces that I'm maybe not quite sure about and really seeing how powerful love is. I've made some really, really special connections in Wisconsin. And then I post-grad traveled to Ghana and was living there for 8 months. And I just really love to explore community in different ways and how I can create community and foster community. I really do believe that community is everything. And so, being in LA, back in LA now, and really pouring into my space and now welcoming people into my space and creating and teaching, doing lots of things has been, and like showing up for other people's amazingness has just been very inspiring for me. And now knowing that I too can bring in beautiful things and feel supported has been really inspiring. But yes, the looper is, I can actually show you. It's
Perfect.
I have the Boss RC 505 looper.
Oh
right
my
here.
God, we have the same one. Wait.
No, stop
It's about to be a nerd moment. Look.
Oh shoot! Oh my gosh, we're gonna connect them. We're gonna do so. Okay, you gotta come over. Okay, wow. Okay,
yes, I love that.
So I'm in love with this. It has really made creating for me musically so much more fluid. You basically have 5 different tracks, so you can layer in multiple sounds, singing moments, rhythm, whatever, into each station. Yeah. And then I literally I'm just YouTubing and learning on my way. And then, and then you can play them back. I'm actually officially coming out with my first ever EP and releasing my own music publicly. And they're all live loops with my loop station. So I just plug it into, my DAW garage band right now, trying to upgrade to maybe Logic or who knows. There's lots of on the horizon. And I just slowly layer in each track and then do some kind of vocal improv stuff on top and layer. And so I'm very excited to bring that out into the world. But that's looping.
Yeah, that was a beautiful recap too. Thank you for that definition and showing it too. It's really exciting. We'd love to hear more about the project. soon, or late in the conversation, so we can let people know where to find it. I've heard some of your posts on Instagram too, and I'm excited to hear how it comes together.
Thank you.
Yeah, going on the thread of your creativity, if you want to share, because I know you said you had some blockages, and in the past 6 months or so, you've been able to create more consistently. Where
Mm-hmm.
did your creativity start, and like what was the beginning of your creative journey?
I have always loved to craft. I think growing up, I was a big crafter. I loved to make things for friends for birthdays, and um, that was just always something that I was interested in. So my mom would actually call me Moreau Persevering Halliburton because I would like I'd sit and draw something for like 10 hours. I mean, um I got into like pogo stick jumping, whatever, and I was like jumping for hours and would get like a rash in my legs, just like I can't, if I once I start something, I really have to see it through. And that was the same in creating. So I was drawing. I remember making little habitats for like roly polies and then drawing them in their habitat, and um knitting, and making little things for teachers and friends, and um yeah, and music. Started playing guitar and some rhythm in fourth and fifth grade. Started playing djembe in fourth grade in my parents' community choir, and just kind of grew from there to, just I love building community through creation, and that has always been something that I am really drawn to, and that's taken many, many different forms. So I'm really excited to kind of return back to the rawness of that, um, and really appreciate the um, I don't know, the ways that other people create as their own beings, um, and leaning into, I truly believe that we're all born creative. So finding ways to create welcoming, brave spaces where we can all create together is really, yeah, it's a passion of mine.
Love that. Yes, we are all born creative, 100%. And it very much sounds like you have always had a creative spirit and different ways that it manifests. Um, and yeah, hearing your parents, how they're involved, they're connected. Was there any influence that they had? Were they also creatives, or were you kind of like a black sheep in the family or anything?
Yeah, and our whole family is very creative. Um,
Nice.
yeah, well, actually, everyone in my family loves to sing, and um, my sister makes music. My mom was um, played the upright bass and cello, I think, in New York City, and was lugging it around. And um, my dad played the saxophone, and um, yeah, and my mom is a teacher. She taught at the school that I went to, K through 12. Um, so I get a lot of my teaching bugness from her. And so I'm actually now doing the after school program at the school that I went to, uh, which is really, yeah, full circle. And also, I'm ready to transition, and I feel myself growing in ways that spaces that I've been in my whole life maybe can't hold for me anymore, and really leaning into that and accepting that, and grieving those places while I'm still in them. That's been a big theme for me. Um, but yes, we've all been very creative, my family.
Yes.
Hmm.
Love that. So powerful. Yeah, I really hear the thread of community in everything that you're sharing, and just how pivotal that's been for you. Um, and like you said, just getting to the space where you are growing out of that and reaching a place where you got to return to the places where you started, and now you're ready for like a next chapter. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I would love to hear your for your own practice and what wellness means to you,
Mm-hmm.
and where you would say your wellness journey started.
Mm. I think wellness for me is balance. Um, Balance through love. And I have had many experiences. I played basketball my whole life, and that was um, a really beautiful experience because I learned a lot about teamwork and what it means to work together for a common goal. And at the same time, it was very hard for me physically because I felt like I was always comparing myself. It was hard for me to enter a space and appreciate my individuality when the system was set up for us to perform as a group and we were all doing the same workouts, we're all doing the same movement. And so I think wellness for a good chunk of my life was what everyone else was doing and not necessarily what felt best for me. And so now I think that that transition has moved into, yeah, doing yoga. I know we originally met at Walked, and um yeah, soft movement, feeling really present in my body. Actually, my friend Dawn and I were talking about the difference between acknowledging the bodies that we're in as this body versus my body. And I really love to, like, through wellness or through my wellness journey right now, it's kind of separating my soul from my body and not putting too much pressure on the body that I have, the body that I'm um, in correlation with the soul that's inhabiting the body I'm in. Um, so yeah, I guess like just I've been thinking a lot about balance and what it really means to be healthy and feel good in the body that I'm in, and just trying to do my best every day to try to listen to this body and what it may need in each moment. So yeah, meditation, mindfulness, deep listening, all the things.
Ashay. Wow. Yeah, I could definitely hear how you're already embodying that, which you shared the conversation with your friend, in the many ways that you let your spirit express through your body. Like you start off with the crafts, and then you do the more on the music, or now you're finding creative ways to bring community together. So I definitely hear how you don't limit, what form your creativity takes, and yeah, how that definitely seems to be influencing your wellness. How would you say that your wellness and creativity kind of dance or play with each other? Um, in terms of, if you want to talk more about your kind of blockage season that you went through, or just, yeah, how you continue to feel your wellness and creativity.
Hmm. Yes. I So I went to Ghana and I was like peak creation mode, making and moving and experiencing every day. And I was moved to create a short film while I was there about a bead master in Odumasi Krobo, in Ghana. And that kind of catapulted me into doing bead centric workshops and paired with the film screening, and that has been really exciting and eye opening for me in a lot of ways, because I do believe that when we think about creation globally, it's I feel more free, I think, to express whatever is on my mind or in my heart, because I know that someone will probably resonate. And I think that's what I felt in Ghana. And then when I came back, I kind of got straight into work, and the the systems that are in place, I think right now are very, if you don't have your own business or kind of doing it on your own, it's very easy to fall into the traps of um, societal dependency, I guess, like just being very dependent on, like, oh, well, I have to pay my rent, I have to do this, that, and the other. Um, I just felt like there were so many pressures that I was experiencing, and going from such an extreme of like raising the money to get to Ghana, so I wasn't working while I was there and just experiencing and creating, to then coming back home and yeah, living in my parents' living room and moving and do it just was like, yeah, I started work 2 days after I got back. Like I didn't really have any time to process, and I'm definitely still processing. That kind of feels like a dream that happened 3 years ago now, which feels crazy to think about. Um, but yeah, I definitely fell into a rut of just needing to get things done to survive in different ways and not really thinking about, I guess, not really dreaming anymore. And that took a huge toll on my creativity. And then in turn, that took an even greater toll on my health. And I do really believe that creativity is at the core of all of our beings. And when we aren't creative and we don't give ourselves that time and space to express ourselves freely, it'll literally hurt and damage the bodies that we're in. Um, and I directly experienced that. And I'm actually very glad that I did, because now I'm very, very grateful to express myself even more and to then provide those kinds of spaces for other people. Um, so yeah, I did the artist way, which I know a lot of people do and talk about. And that actually really did kind of remind me of myself and of all of the dreams that I have. Um, so I did that 3-month course doing the morning pages and um, having great conversations and kind of putting myself back into community, because I was just like, oh, I go to work and then I would come back home and be extremely exhausted and just go to sleep and wake up and do the same thing over and over again, instead of actually, maybe being a little bit tired, but still getting myself out to things. And that's, yeah, yoga was a big part of that. Um, and music and drawing. I made some friends, like one really good friend. We would just meet at a coffee shop and draw together. Um, so, yeah, creativity has definitely awakened and continues to bring me back to my soul and my spirit and my purpose.
Yes, yes, yes. And want to honor your vulnerability and your share of just that time, and even some of the grief that I could hear of coming back from Ghana and then just experiencing, which I've heard from so many of my friends that have went to the motherland, and or even Brazil, or just anywhere that has just like a different matrix that they're dealing with, and then just the stark reality of coming back to the US or the Western world. And yeah, it's really something that that the way that you were able to navigate it, and what I can hear of the gratitude of the gems that you were able to receive, and the wisdom of like, oh, this is important, and like I need this, and it's not just something, not just something that I put to the side. Like I said, even if I'm tired, like I know I need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And just honoring how you are creating that here now, and I can see how you're now beginning the steps, or have started to put into motion, like how can I create what I felt in Ghana and bring it here.
Mm-hmm.
So just love how, and I was able to feel that for sure in the beading workshop. um
Thank you.
yeah, if you want to share more for the people that don't know, like how did Ghana come about, and can you walk us a little more through that story, and just how that it sounds like it had a big shift in trajectory of your creative path. So just kind of share how you arrived there.
Yeah. I was in a Ghanaian drum and dance ensemble in college, learning more about the rhythms and yeah, the dance, the movement there. And I remember we were watching some videos just to get some insight on um, different pieces, different dances. And I noticed all the jewelry that they were wearing and all the beads. And yeah, I mean, like pounds of waist beads and necklaces and anklets. And I was already making jewelry at the time just as a fun hobby that I really enjoyed. And I still do really enjoy it. But yeah, I realized that it kind of opened my mind. And this is the privilege of growing up in the US. There's so many every craft and way of expression that we have here is somewhere else, and they experience it in their own way. And I don't think I fully understood that until I saw those beads on, beautiful African bodies. And I've never traveled outside of the US, but I felt really called to apply to this fellowship my senior year of college called the Watson Fellowship. And that would have allowed me to travel. I applied. It basically allows you to travel for a full year and learn about any kind of anything that you want. So I applied to learn about different bead cultures in Brazil, Ghana, Taiwan, and India. And so I spent my whole senior year working on the fellowship and finding different contacts, people to stay with. I basically just needed the money at the end. And I was a finalist. I didn't get the fellowship, but because I went through that process of kind of dreaming up something that felt really big and kind of beyond me, my family and friends were just like, you have all this stuff. Why don't you just start a GoFundMe, see how much you can raise? And so I raised enough to get to Ghana, and I started my journey there, and I had a whole plan to go to a bunch of other places, and I ended up just staying there for 8 months and, um, yeah, finding different beat artists to chat with, and um, took some gem lessons there, and really just built community there, and kind of joined in on these really special communities that were already really flourishing, and just kind of opened my eyes to the power of creativity. There was something happening there every day, every hour. Um, like the second or the third day I got there, this couple, Fran and Edward, just offered to paint me, like live paint me. And so I went to their place and I sat for 3 hours. That was the first time I've ever been painted, like, before. And they painted me, and they had their different styles. And Fran is German, and my grandmother is German. And I'm not 1,000% sure about my African ancestry because, slavery and all the things. But I do know that a lot of us, originated from Ghana, and the coast. So it was, I mean, I met people who looked a lot like me, and I really did feel like I haven't done any of the 23andMe tests or anything, but I felt very connected when I was there. And that was my first time out of the US traveling there, and I went alone, and it was a very impactful experience. Um,
Um,
yeah. So I'm
yes.
really trying to bring that energy back and also get back there. Like I miss all of them. Um, I worked with a school there for a while, through my jewelry business, and I've been donating 20% of my profits to that public school and an art center. So
Amazing.
I would do drum and dance classes at the art center and then go over to the school, and we started a beading club. It goes on and on, but just there were so
Yes.
many ways that I was creative there, and it was just because of talking to people and putting myself out there, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, so I'm trying to bring that energy back.
Yeah. Wow. Love hearing that story. Just yeah, just really shows that you are so supported, and that this common thread of community that has been a big part of your creative journey. Um yeah, and how it really sounds like Ghana was a special time for you to learn a more or a different side of yourself too, as a creative, and like you said, you are bringing that home, and I definitely see you going back. So just blessings on that journey back home. I still
Thank
have never
you.
been, so every time I hear just hearing your story,
You
I'm on like the edge of my seat, like, oh my God, I can't wait.
you let me know when you want to go. I have lots of connections to give you
Beautiful.
if you
I
go.
love it. Yeah, you spoke a little bit about your ancestry and your European side and what you do know about your African
Hmm.
lineage. If you want to share a little more about where your ancestors are from and
Hmm.
how that has impacted your creative path, and how you include that into your creativity.
Mm. Yes. My mom is half white, half black. So her mom was German and her dad was African American. And my dad is half Jamaican, half African American. I would love to go to Jamaica. That's my next trip. Um, but yeah, I have always felt very connected to something, and I haven't really been able to put my finger on it. Um, yeah, but I think through my ancestors, I feel more connected to them than ever right now. And when I was in Ghana, I actually had a dream before I went to Ghana that I was floating in the ocean, on the coast, and I remember my grandfather, like kind of wading into the water, and just different ancestors wading in to the water with me as I'm floating. And that's a whole other journey. Like my dreams, I've had lots of really, really impactful dreams, and I remember every detail. And I've been turning those into posters and um, mantras and bringing those with me. But yeah, I really want to learn more about my direct ancestors, and I think that's a journey that I'm bound to take pretty soon. And I think I've been experiencing them through my creativity, through my music making, through my visual art, through connecting with children, through connecting with other elders. Um, yeah, so I do feel them with me in everything that I do, and that definitely drives a lot of the creations that I put out into the world.
Shay, yeah, it's a beautiful journey of remembering, and even in what we don't know or what we're still searching for, I do believe that even in what we create, it's like coming from them, or we're able to patch some of those holes of what we've lost.
Right, yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's definitely see you doing that through bringing together Diaspora and literally being able to. I should have wore mine. I'm probably gonna go get it, but I still have my
I
bracelet from the
also
workshop.
I'm not
You
wearing
know
any of my
how?
stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's all over there. But
yeah, I might go grab it. But yeah, still like every time I wear it, it's just like this reminder, especially for someone that has not been back to Africa yet, and it's just like, okay, there now I know the story, I know where these beads are from, and it really does, like, it just does something to have something tangible. um and yeah, I feel definitely resonate, just knowing that I have done African ancestry and was able to learn about my ancestors of Sierra Leone, on my mother's side. And I know I have family in Louisiana, and my grandmother has recently opened up about her grandmother being from Haiti, which was like a big revelation for our whole family because she never talked about it until the past, like it was like last year. So that has been a journey and just like learning and connecting the dots. But yeah, I just really love hearing how they're already showing up in your dreams, one, and especially in the conversation that had with shot in the last episode. There is this like there's this practical way of getting to know our ancestors, but there's also a very without language, beyond anything, like they're always communicating with us, and dreams is a very key way that that happens. So I hope that, yeah, just you continue to follow that thread and know that without the piece of paper that might, validate some things, that like your spirit is guiding you. And yeah, so I
mm,
definitely see that.
thank you. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I've been feeling them in nature too. Like just
Hmm.
being outside, being in water, like water in particular, has been really
Yeah.
calling to me. Seeing faces in water and uh,
Mm.
yeah. So
Love it. Yes. We will share a little more about the your Ghana experience before we move on. Because you did reference the film and like the beading business that you started. Um, but when you went to Ghana, was it already a plan to make a film, or how did that come about?
no, and that was the first film I've ever made. So it was really a passion project and came from some kind of something. Something was channeling through and they were like, you need to help uplift this family and these artists in some kind of way where people can really hear and see and feel what their life is like and all of the hard work that they put into their craft every day. And that I brainstormed with the bead master, Mr. Seedy, and together we came up with making a film. Um, because you can hear his voice, you can hear the voices of some of his family who also work with him in the factory. And like we use the word factory loose because it's outside, there's palm trees everywhere. They make their own kilns from anthill clay and um, hand break the glass. And so the film kind of goes through the process of creating a Krobo bead from scratch and everything that goes into that. Um, and also highlighting Mr. Seedy and his family and how they work together every day. And the sacrifices that they make and um, that it's all rooted in love. And that's been a big theme for me. It's just reimagining and appreciating what love is. Um, and that's like I could go on and on. Like I've been reading bell hooks all about love and really diving deep into what it really means to love in the world. Um, but yes, through film that was a really important journey for me, I think, in a lot of different things. I mean, because I was I was a woman, not from Ghana, trying to create something there that I had to lean on and wanted to lean on the community there, and at the same time, um, being a female filmmaker in a space where the patriarchy is everywhere. So I was just like, it was hard to really assert myself, say what I needed, say really stick with the vision that I had, and still feel supported. And yeah, so I worked with a film group in December of 2022 when I was there, and met a lot of different filmmakers and artists, and was able to work with someone who came with me for 3 days. We shot the film in 3 days. I edited. It was honestly kind of insane because it was like we filmed in 3 days. I was leaving in April. We started at the beginning of, I think, February, and I really wanted to do a launch party in Accra, and Mr. Cd's place is like 2.5 hours outside of Accra. We worked out putting on an event with a film screening, had him come um, and speak. We had a really amazing panel. My therapist that I had while I was there is amazing, and I asked her if she would lead the discussion, and that felt really important. Um, yeah, we had food vendors, drinks. Um, yeah, it was outside, so that was the first time that I also really organized a bigger scale event. Um, I edited the film myself on my computer. Was FaceTiming with friends and family who were giving me advice and different tips, and it was my first time using Premiere, so it was just like a lot of firsts. But yeah, and then I ended up having to do another mini fundraiser to finish the film and support all the people who were just donating their time. Um, yeah, and it really did feel like a community effort because everyone realized the passion that I had for it was, I think, pretty contagious, and everyone was like, we need to get this film done. Um, and then when I got back home, my parents and I did 3 film screenings, like backyard film screenings, and the last night we had 70 plus people in my parents' backyard watching this film, making bracelets, and um, yeah, the power of one small craft is great. Uh, beads are. It made me realize how important craftsmanship is, and the power in community building, when we create something from scratch, when we use resources, when we recycle, um, yeah, repurposing something into beautiful wearable art. And beads go all the way back to shells and bones and um, currency, using beads as currency. So yeah, it's a very, very ancient craft. So I'm very honored that I was able to help kind of shed some light on it. And I would love to
Yeah.
continue my film into a series, travel the world and learn about different bead cultures and make other short documentaries. Also
Mhm.
highlighting the music in the space and how music and art, visual crafting art is all connected. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so the the film is called Beads Build Bridges, The People Behind the Craft. And the first intro 2 minutes is I heard so many beautiful sounds in the beads and how they're being made. And so I spliced together the different bead making sounds into a beat. And that just, I think, has also traveled with me. Like, you know, how music and rhythm is everywhere, and we walk to our own beats, we talk in our own rhythm and tone, and so yeah, there's power in the small things.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for walking us through that story, and your stepping into the role of storyteller to be able to share. It's so powerful, so needed, and so beautiful. And you, and just so I know too, so it is live. Is it something that, like, I can, because I'll put it in the show notes for people, or if
It
it's
is not live.
Okay.
But if anyone has any tips on releasing, it was officially, it was in the Pan African Film Festival in 2024. And yeah, it's just kind of sitting. I do private screenings, so
Perfect.
if anyone wants the film to be screened in their space paired with a DIY bracelet table, that is kind of what I'm offering right now with the film. And then
Nice.
yeah, hopefully soon I'll be able to officially put it out into the world so people can see it from anywhere.
Beautiful. Thank you. I don't know how, but it's already the last few minutes and this conversation has felt so seamless. So yeah, just thank you for the joy and your presence that you brought. The last two questions I'll ask you is just one, like, given where you're at right now and what you already talked about in your own personal journey as an artist and someone that has taken, you know, their wellness more seriously in the past few years, what do you feel like is the call for artists in this time, our generation, all the things that we're facing and going through? Yeah, what do you feel like is we're really being called to remember right now?
I've actually been thinking about this a lot recently. I know that there's a lot of really, really horrendous things happening in the world right now, and it can be really dysregulating. It can put our spirits way down below, and kind of put the bodies that we're in into this state of fight or flight, or freeze. And I tend to be in the freeze. And I think something that I really hope for the world is that we can lead with love. And Bell Hooks talks about basically that love is, it's very hard for us to understand love because there is no universal definition of love. And so we resort to fear and hate and violence and all these things that are very easy for us to understand because we've had many, many, many examples of them. And I do truly believe that if we can lead with love and really know what love means for us and be able to express that in a way that can help people understand where we're coming from, and really, really listening to each other, I think we can turn a lot of things around and we can create very, very beautiful, impactful things. So I'm really looking forward to continuing to bring love into my life and express what that means for me. And I think I could kind of go on and on about what love means to me. But I think at the core, I actually wrote down I wrote down, what is love to me? Time, dedicated, repetitive time, gentleness, softness, soul development, feel good movement, slow movement, boundary setting for myself and others, challenge and compromise, individuality and community, rhythm and singing, nature and water, communication and following through, open to change, deep listening, alone time, warm tea and stretching. And all of that kind of came down into gentle, active spiritual balance. So moving with what's needed in each moment, doing my best every day to be in gentle balance in my relationships, in this mind, body, spirit, in my communities, in my creative purpose, in my resting place, and with nature. And of course, with our ancestors. But I really do hope that we can all think about what love means to us and bring that into our everyday practice of showing up and being in community with each other and creating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, I felt full body chills with that. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I just want to say that was not ChatGPT. That was
Nope.
human, divine spirit. That's what happens when you just slow down to listen. I
Right.
love that. So yes, thank you for that wisdom. Yeah, this gentle, active, definitely hearing the balance, even just throughout the whole definition that you gave, that love can be this, yes, the warrior, this active energy that we've had to get to where we are now. We give thanks to our ancestors that had to embody that archetype. And now we're in a space where we need more of that gentleness. So, yeah, thank you for bringing that through. You remind me of, I'm also reading, or had just finished reading Octavia Butler for the first time, her book, Parable of the Sower. And
That's on my bookshelf.
oh my gosh, it I finished it, and at the end, she has a little interview. And one of the questions is like, what is your message that you're trying to convey with this book? It's like, this kind of apocalyptic world and just things are all crumbling. But her point was like, all this book wasn't about like some big sci-fi, like outer world reality. It was just leaning into where are we headed if we don't change anything? Like, and this is what I came up with in my imagination, and really calling us to face in our own personal life and as a collective, what are we headed towards if we don't change anything? So I really just hear just like your prayer for love and like really getting down to the root of what it is, so that as artists, really making it clear and making it also playful and easeful, and like we get to
Yeah.
do this, like um
Yes. It
so
is a
yeah,
privilege.
definitely. Right. Yes, it is much of a privilege and a divine responsibility that we have, because yeah, we see where they're trying to lead people, so we need to be like, hey y'all, don't forget.
Don't
So
forget
yeah.
what we're here to do. And
Yes.
that's to spread
Thank
love.
you so much,
Yeah.
Miro. Left this message. Um, yeah, if you just want to leave the people with one tool or one tangible practice that has either helped you or that you're currently doing, for anyone that might be experiencing that place of creative block that you already expressed, and someone that just needs like, okay, what's one thing that I can at least try to help me get out of this rut?
I think play.
Yes, go
Play and
there.
have fun. Um, don't take your creativity or even your creative block too seriously. Um, because yeah, I think we can get stuck in our heads in believing that we aren't creative, believing that we don't have anything creative to offer. Um, And it's really just about shifting that mindset and actively putting yourself in spaces to challenge your creativity, but through play. Like, we shouldn't be, if you're feeling worried about or you feel like you're not a dancer. This is something that I'm dealing with right now. Like, I don't really feel like I am a dancer and can move my body in the ways that I want to. Like, I shouldn't be going to really intense uh dance class that is like all about performance. Like, I need to be intentionally finding spaces where I can move my body and play and really feel safe in my body. And that goes for any other creation, any other way that you're feeling blocked. It's just like finding spaces, finding community that allow you to um, show up as yourself right now and not worrying about any kind of image or being someone that you're not. So just have fun.
Well said. Love that.
Yeah.
Play. I also
Play.
hear just getting back to the basics. And we be complicating
Yeah.
everything, but just get back in the sandbox and just throw some stuff around for a little
Just
bit.
like, yeah, whenever I'm with kids,
Yeah.
I have the most fun. Um, and so I'm trying to bring that
Yes.
energy wherever I'm at, like I don't have to be only fun with kids, like,
That
you
part.
know?
Adults still
Um,
need play and love.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yes.
If anyone's interested in coming to Grounded Groove, you gotta come soon. But
I'm
yeah, it's
coming
just
to the next one.
I'm thinking about how we can play together as adults and um yeah, be creative, understand that we are all born creative, we are all born musicians, and that may show up in different ways, but we can
Mm.
collectively come together and create something beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're interested, let me know.
I say. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would definitely put that in the show notes and put Moreau's Instagram and everything so y'all can stay in touch with her. And yeah, the Grounded Groove is a open mic or just creative space that they're starting to build community with. So definitely tap in. Thank you so much, Moreau. This has been a blessing. Um, yeah, I can even just feel the play and the lightfulness in even some of the deeper topics we touched on. So thank you for bringing your spirit through.
Thank you for
Um,
having me.
yeah, of course. Yes. So I just want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you for tuning in. I really, really hope something today stood out to you and just got to communicate with where you're at this time. Um, Thank you for Moreau for showing up. Again, if you're interested in the film or any more of their work, just check out the show notes. Join the Rerootd email list so you can stay tuned for our upcoming events. We just had a settle session yesterday. It was beautiful success, and I'm grateful for the people that came through. And we'll be having more workshops moving forward with other artists and people that are in the middle of wellness and creativity and just growing our community. So thank you, Moreau, for joining our community. I'm grateful to be in connection with you.
So much. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
of course.
Bye.
Peace and stay rooted.
Stay rooted.
Shay.
Love that.